power to bear. They had a choice to earn our votes by meeting our common sense demands at the county table and at our private table with them. And they failed time and time again. They failed to meet deadlines. They failed to offer counter proposals. They failed to be honest about the amount of financing they would be seeking. We have consistently kept the door open for the Royals every step of the way, and we have done our due diligence to try to arrive at a strong community benefits agreement that guarantees the voice on the job that low-wage workers like me deserve. The failure to make this happen is entirely theirs, the Royals. Right. It's at no fault of ours and the folks out here today.
That's right.
We are here today to say we plan on making them feel the weight of poor decision making at the ballot box. Right. To a team that claims to do a whole lot of listening, get ready to hear us loud and clear on April 2nd. Because the Royals have left us no choice but to call on each of you and every Jackson County resident to vote no on the stadium sales tax question at the ballot box. When you're asked the question whether you want taxpayer money to go towards subsidizing a billionaire playground, what are you going to say? No! What are you going to say? No! Because if we don't get it, shut it down! If we don't get it, shut it down! It's simple, folks. When the Royals try to pit our community, our families, against us, what are we going to choose to fight for? Our brothers, our sisters, our mothers, our communities, or are we going to side with the Royals at the ballot box? We're going to side with the community, our family, our mothers, our brothers, and our sisters, and our co-workers.
Yes, sir.
Yes, we are.
Yes.
I'm going to turn it over now to Gina Kiala, one of the city's housing leaders. Gina is an attorney and executive director of the Heartland Center for Jobs and Freedom. Gina?
Thank you, Terrence. Man, I have to say I'm angry too, Terrence. I think when I hear the names of the workers who've passed, who've been with our movement for all those years and who've passed unjustifiably because of poverty, it just deepens the anger. We at the Heartland Center for Jobs and Freedom are on the front lines with low-wage workers who go to work every day to face exploitation and abuse by multi-billion-dollar companies and then go home at night to be exploited and overcharged by their landlords. Enough is enough.
Yeah.
So the Royals say they need $1 billion in taxpayer funds to build a new stadium. And at the same time, they say they have $1 billion. They have $1 billion to build an entertainment district that would replace the Crossroads, demolish the Crossroads, demolish small businesses, and replace it with big business, replace it with luxury apartments, and replace it with poverty wage jobs. Is that what we need? No! Is that what we need?
No!
We've been fighting, like Terrence said, for well over a year for a strong community benefits agreement. To use the Royals' word, a transformative community benefits agreement. That's what they promised. We knew better. We knew better to trust their promises, so we've been organizing. And we've given them every opportunity possible to negotiate a strong and transformative community benefits agreement with us in good faith. And they have failed, and they have failed miserably. Like Terrence said, we gave them demands over a year ago. Basic demands that workers, our brothers and sisters, won in Milwaukee. So these are not unreasonable. It has been done. It's been done by the Milwaukee Bucks. What do we want? We want a living wage floor. Basic, decent wages for the workers who will run the stadium and run the entertainment district for the life of this tax. We want unions for service workers who deserve to have steady schedules and good pay and benefits. We also asked for a first source hiring hall that would make sure that if we win good jobs, the East Side is going to be included in that, and the East Side is going to be uplifted, and that we're going to challenge. that we're going to challenge our city's history of race discrimination.
Yes, amen.
And like Terrence said, we gave them a sample of the Milwaukee Bucks agreement over a year ago. And like Terrence said, they delayed. And when they came to the table, they were not ready. They hadn't even read the Milwaukee Bucks agreement. They didn't understand our demands. And they had the gall to come to us and say, you know, I think you're asking too much for the community. They're asking us for over $2 billion. It'll probably be $3 billion, maybe close to $4 billion by the time they rake in all the taxpayer funds they want to rake in. And they're telling us that we are asking for too much. What do you think about that?
That ain't right.
Let's get a little more specific. What do we ask them for? Well, they say they want to build this luxury apartment building in the entertainment district that will take the place of the Crossroads, which is bad enough. So we said if you're going to do that, a third of that housing has to be affordable, and truly affordable. Affordable to the workers you see behind me, affordable and accessible to the residents of this city. What did they say to that reasonable demand? Nothing. They said nothing. From the very beginning, they said they're going to develop this housing, and they have never responded to that demand at all.
Boo! They don't care about their fans!
They don't care about their fans, that's right. We also asked them for something else extremely reasonable, a study. Let's conduct a study and forecast what impact is this stadium going to have on housing. Let's look and see what the experts say. Are rents going to go up? Of course they will, but we want to know how much. How is the stadium going to affect rents? How is it going to impact gentrification, which we already see happening across this city? And what do they say to that demand? Nothing. No response whatsoever. We asked them to start an affordable housing fund that would help develop at least 1,000 units of affordable housing in the first 3 years of the sales tax. Now, let's put this in context. 80,000 people in our area are cost burdened. They can't afford their rent. 80,000 people. We said, let's contribute. Have you contribute 1,000 units of affordable housing to this terrible crisis. And what did they offer us in response to that?
Nothing.
No, they offered 100 over a 40-year period. So we have 80,000 people who are cost burdened and can't pay their rent, and they offered to build 100 units, multi-billion-dollar corporations, 100 units over a 40-year period. What do we think about that?
It's an insult!
It's an insult. Let's talk about housing. Let's talk about workplace. So we also asked and demanded, actually, that the workplaces that are traditionally bad jobs, that those workplaces in and around the stadium, the entertainment district, that they have a path to unionize. And what did they say to that? They said no. They said no. We asked them to set a wage floor. They did this in Milwaukee. Nothing new. We've got a model. We even put them in touch with the owner of the Bucks. And the owner of the Bucks said to them, hey, if you want to do it, you can make it happen. That's what he said to them. And what did they say to our demand for a living wage floor? They said no. They said no. And so what do we say to a sales tax that will cost us $2 billion over a 40-year period? What do we say to them?
No!
What do we say?
No!
What do we say?
No!
Thank you.
Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Vote no, vote no, vote no, vote no! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Vote no, vote no, vote no, vote no! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Vote no, vote no, vote no, vote no! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Vote no, vote no, vote no, vote no! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Vote no, vote no, vote no, vote no! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Vote no, vote no, vote no, vote no!
All right. Thank you, Gina. And I just want to remind folks, we're not asking for a handout. The Royals are. They're asking for our money. We're not asking for anything but what we deserve. And that's a strong community benefits agreement. I want to introduce my brother Gary Thomas, who is on the executive board of the UAW Local 249. Let's welcome Gary.
My name's Gary Thomas. I'm with Local 249. We represent over 12,000 active and retired members in Kansas City, one of 3 locals with a total of 24,000 members.
All right.
Now, I was told by my president, Tony Renfro, gave me one piece of advice when I was first doing a public speaking engagement for a friend of mine during a funeral. He said, if something's in your hand, you focus on what's in your hand and not emotion. Well, I'm going to tell you all right now, you're going to see some raw emotion, right? Because at the end of the day, we are building the playgrounds of the rich that we are not allowed to be in. Do you think anybody behind me can afford to live in those houses, those apartments they're building? Can we afford to go to the game? No. Can we afford? Can we afford to eat at the restaurants? No. No, because we are building something that we cannot step into, and that ain't right. That ain't right. We are building something that we cannot participate in, and that ain't right. That ain't right. We are not the piggy banks for the billionaires.
That's right.
And every time the working class asks to fund another billionaire, told you you're going to see some passion. Every time we are told to fund another billionaire, we are diminished as a community and as a society. We cannot afford for our public schools. We cannot afford for our housing. We cannot afford for our work. We cannot afford for our transportation. We lose every single time they ask us to fund something for them. We lose. John Sherman has the money. He has it.
Say it.
John Sherman has the money. We don't. We don't.
Unethical.
In 2010, it cost 89 cents to buy a bean burrito. Now it costs almost $5. Right? And that seems like something that doesn't matter. $5 is a tank of gas to a lot of people. $5 is a gallon of milk for a family. $5 is their lights on. Is their gas paid. $5 is their children's lunch for school. This tax will take money out of the pockets of the working class. And that ain't right. What John Sherman is asking us to do isn't right. Him holding the city hostage. I love the Royals. I love the Chiefs. But him telling us they're going to move? How does that show he loves us? If he loves us, why is he holding us hostage? If he loves us, why is he holding our team hostage?
I don't know.
If he wants to make Kansas City better, how?
Respect.
He says that a stadium at the Crossroads will be an economic boom. It'll be an oasis.
Yeah.
Well, for who? Because do we see it at Truman now? Do we see it at Truman Stadium now? All we see is an economic desert.
That's right.
Tell me one business that exists around the stadiums as they are right now. Countless studies. Taco Bell.
It's struggling.
Countless studies have shown that building a new stadium is an economic black hole. Why would we invite that to our city for a billionaire? You think he's going to build everything around that and not get $1 of everything that comes through there? What are you getting? Poverty wages. What are you getting? Poverty wages. That's what we're getting in return for $1 billion of our dollars. That ain't right. What kind of business sense does that make? None. It makes a lot of sense for him when it's our pockets he's coming out for, right?
That's right.
It doesn't make a lot of sense for us. Why are we funding our own destruction?
Exactly.
So, as a leader with the UAW 249, as an elected leader of UAW 249, I urge Jackson Countyans, myself included, to vote no.
Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Vote no, vote no, vote no, vote no! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Vote no, vote no, vote no, vote no! Ho, ho!
You know, when I think about something Gary said, we all love our Royals, love our Chiefs. I got Royals shoes, Chiefs custom-made shoes. 80% of my wardrobe, Chiefs and Royals. But when I think about when we beat the Mets in New York and brought home that World Series, I was homeless living with my fiance's brother, 10 of us in a 3-bedroom house, 1 bathroom. When we beat San Francisco in that Super Bowl, I remember living in Independence, heating my home that night in February with my gas stove open because the electric stove open, heating the house because the gas was off. Those are memories not only I share in triumph with the team, but how my family was living in those times. And that ain't right. That ain't right, y'all.
That ain't right.
Last but not least, I want to introduce a faith leader who is near and dear to my heart, Reverend Holly McKissick, pastor of Peace Church, to close us out. Reverend Holly.
Community benefits agreement. What does it mean to be a part of a community? It doesn't mean that we just care for one another. It means that we belong to one another, that we are connected to one another. It means that when one person suffers, we all suffer. It means that if you can't pay your rent and you can't feed your kids and you can't see the doctor, that none of us sleep well at night, that we all toss and turn. And so when you're a part of a community and you are making decisions, not just everyday decisions, but historic decisions, once in 50-year decisions, then you stop and the first thing you ask is who is going to benefit? Is it going to be the people who already have more than enough? Or is it going to be the people who have been consistently undervalued and devalued, who have been asked again and again to use their milk money to pay for ice cream for other people, right? Who have been asked to take their rent money to pay for a box seat for someone else? And so we're here today because we're going to be honest about who has benefited in this community. We're going to be honest that there is not a level playing field in this country and there is not a level playing field in this community. That's right. We know it, right? It's called racism and classism and every kind of ism. And the truth is that some people are born on third base, and those people, a lot of them go through life thinking they've hit a triple, right? And some people never even get to come up to bat. And we know the truth that Kansas City, we didn't just invent segregated housing, we told other people how to do it. And we have spent decades and decades underfunding the public, underfunding public schools and transportation and housing. And so now we're here right now, and I think it's true that this is a disappointing moment.
Sure is.
Because we are being asked to fund a regressive tax, and we know what that means. That means that the people who have the very least to give, who have the very least margin, who have the very least left over, are asked to do what? To give the most. Show me the scripture where it says, let the least give to the most, right? No, the scripture says, let our yes be our yes and our no be our no. And today we say no to this kind of greed, to this kind of going backwards instead of forwards. But you know what else? We say yes. And we say yes to one another. We say yes to a community that is bigger and broader and stronger and firmer and deeper and more resolved than a year ago, right? We say yes to leaders who are so friggin' smart, who have said this is the way to go forward. We say yes to that. We say yes to a Kansas City that won't be what it was 20 years or 40 years or 60 years ago, but a community where every single kid can thrive, where we say every single person is a cherished, treasured child of God. So sadly, as someone who loves the Royals and loves baseball, I say no, and I say yes to you all. I say yes to you beautiful, beloved people as we go forward.
I think we got the message loud and clear for the Royals, for John Sherman. We all know that John Sherman has so-called been charitable to our community, but he has an opportunity. It starts with him at the top. John Sherman, we call on you to do the right thing. Bring something meaningful to the table for workers, Kansas Cityans, and our town as a whole. You have an opportunity before April 2nd to get it done. Today, we'll be going to the ballot box on April 2nd to say no. So John Sherman, show us that you care. The Royals, if you love this community, bring something meaningful to the table. Because we're not going to vote against our families and our loved ones to subsidize a $1 billion project. It's just not going to happen. Ain't that much love for the Royals and Chiefs in the world to vote against our community. And we'll take that message to the ballot box, and everyone within earshot should think tonight when you lay your head on the pillow, do the Royals truly care?
No.
Do they care? No. Are we worth more?
Yes!
Are we worth more?
Yes!
Then this is what democracy looks like. When we go to the ballot box April 2nd, our voices will be heard loud and clear. Vote no, vote no, vote no. Thank you.
Show me what democracy looks like! This is what democracy looks like! Show me what democracy looks like! This is what democracy looks like! Show me what democracy looks like! This is what democracy looks like! Show me what democracy looks like! This is what democracy looks like! Show me what a union looks like! This is what a union looks like! Show me what a union looks like! This is what a union looks like! Show me what a union looks like! This is what a union looks like! Show me what a union looks like! This is